This is the start of my little blog for the games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. Let me tell you, guys, I love it so far. I really do. By the way, if you haven't been here before, pull up a seat, sit down. We're going to talk about this book. Okay, it's going to be heavy spoilers. We're going to be talking about everything I read in here and all that lovely jazz. Okay, if you've been here before, you know the deal. I have that whole spoiler thing up there for you guys to know that it's spoilers. So don't pretend like you don't know, okay? So far, I am loving this. I really, really am. It has been a fun ride so far. I'm like 123 pages in, chapters. These chapters will go by really quick, too. Like, technically, I'm on chapter 26. And then I'm only on 122, okay? But, it's it's a little fast-paced, I guess. But also a little slow dragging. So you meet your main character, Lyra. This is narrated first person, so you don't actually know her name until later. But she is part of an order of thieves who go out and steal stuff. So their mark is right before the Crucible that's going to happen, which is a game that the gods technically play. But what it is that they take someone from the human world, a mortal, and they make them play the game. I gotta do something real quick. It looks a little dark in here, so I need to put some light on. Okay. That's much better. We're gonna close that for a second because, like, you're just gonna have to deal with that bright shit in the background. Okay. So, Lyra Karas? I don't remember that. She is the main protagonist in this, and she is with the Order of Thieves. She's paid off her debt, but since she has no family, no friends, no nothing to call her own, she stays with the Order of Thieves, working for them. She gets a relic from somebody. It disappeared on her bed, an axe. And she is very mouthy. Very mouthy. So she is unlovable. She was given to the order at the age of 3, considering for paying off her parents' debts, but that really they just want to get rid of her because her curse is that nobody can form attachments with her. They can like her, they can love her, but they can't be attached to her in the, oh yeah, you're my friend, conversal type of thing. It's more of a, oh, this person exists off in this little area, So that's really her issue. So she goes to sneak into Zeus's temple to destroy it and curse out the god, because she's either like, I'm gonna die or you're gonna lift this fucking curse on me. And somebody stops her. Now, it's Hades, god of the underworld, who has stopped her. He is officially joining the Crucibles. And why? Don't know yet. How? He's going to use her. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. He's going to use her in the Crucibles. And he believes she can do it. Now that she's been chosen, she gets portaled off, and they have to do their first test, which is just basically to get their gifts, 2 gifts from from the gods that chose them. She was trying to assess who could be allies and who couldn't be, and, well, to be a nice person, she's like, here, Artemis, here's your item. So all these goblets, bowls, and stuff appear along with food don't eat the food. And they have to find the symbol for their god in order to be able to receive their gifts. So she helps them out. And every single one of them get their gifts. It's the first time in a crucible that everybody's got their gifts. Because it's really a dog-eat-dog world. You're competing to be the winner. And one such person, Zai, I think his name is Zai Abraham. Where is it? Yeah. Zai Aradam. Now, Zai Aradam's father, we find that's his father, Matthias Aradam, was Zeus's pick 100 years ago who won the Crucible. And his family disappeared. They don't know what happened to it, but he got 100 years of immortality. So they didn't age or anything. They got to live in Olympus for 100 years. And now Zai has been chosen by Hermes, and so he has a lot riding on his shoulders because he has to make sure they win again, obviously, so they can live for another 100 years. Because what happens when your gift of living for 100 years is gone? Do you rapidly age and die? Or do you have to live out the rest of your life like a normal human being? So every single one of them has a chosen champion. Hades, of course, does, because he decided to pick one because his dear Persephone. So Zeus chose a guy named Samuel Sabina. Hera's chosen somebody. Probably find out later. Artemis also chose one. We know Hermes chose Zai. Hades chose Lyra. Okay. I got the names down. Most of them. Okay, let's see. Zeus is a Daemones who's in charge of running the Crucible. You have Rima Patel, which is Apollo's pick. Jackie Murphy, which is Aphrodite's pick. I don't think you learn everybody's name. Dionysus is in this too. I'm going to play about him. I read the Buckeye play. You know, here we are. Dionysus' champion is Mike Besser. Isabel Roja Herneze is Poseidon's champion. Who is Demeter's? Ares' champion is Neva Butchard. So Ares does something is he actually interferes with the labors, the first one, by grabbing Hades' bowl, which has a symbol on it for her to find, and throwing it on the ground and destroying it because she allowed everybody to find theirs in a fit of rage. So he's going to be punished. How do you punish a god for something? If it was a mild infraction, he'll get a commensurate punishment. It won't affect you. Get on with finding your token. Hades tells her there is never only one way to win any labor that is part of the Crucible. There's more than one way. Find it. So yeah, she's got to find a new way because her bowl was destroyed. And then she finds out that there's cryptic code on all of the bowls and stuff in front of her. Directions. So she's got to go race and find him in 5 minutes. I mean, she makes it in the end because he motivates her, says move, and barks it at her. So it's really good that she made it and didn't fail the first time. So they go to where she's going to receive the gifts, which is his house in Olympus, where he doesn't stay. Aphrodite decorated it, and it made her happy to decorate it, okay? his first gift is actually animals, sleeping spirits, a blue owl, a green panther, a purple fox, a red tarantula. The tiny, adorable silver butterfly did not leave his arm, and they're spirits that was given to him by his mom, and they haven't left his arm for someone ever since his mother gave them to him. You know, the Titaness Rhea? Yeah. That's it. He also passionately kisses her in order to transfer a mark, which will give her safe passage through the underworld so that she may return to the overworld and not get trapped down there. He also gave her, before the trial started, a tiara with these beads in them. Now, these beads are not ordinary beads, they're pomegranate seeds, and they will allow her to go to the underworld. But she's only got 6 of them, so she's got 12 labors and only 6 seeds. So she has to play it smart. A guy she liked, his name is Boone, in love with Boone, but Boone didn't like him, came by Hades, place in San Francisco, and dropped off a bunch of shit. A bulletproof vest with a bunch of thief equipment inside of it, including a locksmith tool, breaking and entering kit. He also gave her his relic that he's never used, which are dragon bone shards, dragon fangs. Dragon fangs. Now, these dragon fangs can create skeletons that she can use to protect her or whatever they need, but she's got a limited amount of them, and only 1 per use. The pomegranate seeds used to belong to Persephone as well. She also threw a pillow at Hades. Who the fuck throws a pillow at Hades? He also brought her relic. So, now she's got her relic, his relic, dragon teeth, that's what they are. And when Boone is leaving, he sits there and says, for the record, we didn't hate you. She thought, you always thought I hated you. That we all did. We didn't hate you. So she's promised to bring back and return the stuff that he's given her if she survives the crucible. But nobody's ever came back from a crucible. So how do they know that? The next day, she made some food for him. Found out that pleasure, but they don't need to eat. Also, he finds out that she's injured, and he calls Asclepius, Pius. Pius. He started as a mortal man who was punished by Zeus for the crime of restoring the dead to life. Afterward, he was welcomed into Olympus as a god of healing. And so he heals her, and he's like, next time, tell me when you're injured. And he also asked, who was your man in the room last night? And she's like, just a thief that was giving me some stuff. And Hades, as she's disappearing to go to start her first trial, says, you can do this, Lyra, because you're mine. Ooh, la, 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 la. So the first one is I have to... Athena's champion Dex Soto. And, what's her name? Zavi? They figure out something. The first challenge. Your bindings are not your only problem. There will be a bigger challenge. There's no telling the winner will be the one who finds the solution to the bigger challenge first. So now they have to escape because they're trapped in bindings in a sea where the seawater is lowering. And they have to figure out how to escape from it. So, Lyra really is a very weird person because she's now helping them where I left off. She cut herself free, and now she's like, get down here so I can cut you guys free. The winner, it doesn't matter how you get free. The winner is the one who figures out and completes the bigger challenge. Whatever the bigger challenge is. So, I'm going to read some more tonight to figure out what the bigger challenge is. So, we'll see then. Yeah, we will. Okay? We will. I promise we will. Okay, bye. Good morning, guys. I just woke up not that long ago. Let me see exactly how long ago. About 30 minutes ago. Crawled out of bed. So, the games gods play. Okay. Okay, guys, a lot of things happen. I think I was on 122 pages, right? Where'd I leave off in my memory? A lot's happened. Right. This is when they got landed into Poseidon's lovely thing. So, in Poseidon's, there's these things that are hatching out of eggs into the water as the water recedes, and these things are trying to kill the champions. They release all of them, but Dex takes from their tied up poles, and Dex takes Lyra's relic and attacks her with it, and then tries to swim away. But then he returns invisible because, he realizes he can't escape. Samuel, of course, uses his whatever powers to reveal Dex. Excuse the crying baby in the background. So, thanks to Lyra using the relic that was given to her by Boone, 3 soldiers come out and they defeat the bees. But not before they realize that Isabel, Poseidon's champion, has been bitten. And after all of them are dead, she dies. Isabel dies. So Poseidon's champion dies. It's no one's fault, really. Except maybe Dex. Because she could have been safe if Dex hasn't taken the axe, and she could have gone to get the last champion. So, yeah. Poseidon tries to attack Lyra. Hades comes along and protects her. She tries to make an alliance with Zai. Finding out that Zai's father is an asshole who wants to stay there for eternity, for another 100 years, and is hoping his son wins, even though his son is allergic to a shit ton of shit. I guess being born in Olympus makes him allergic to a shit ton of shit on Earth, because the overworld is like where he's allergic to the most of everything. I wish this had a thing that tells you the chapter titles, so that way you could be just like, oh yeah, that's who's next. I think the next one was Hermes challenge. Hayes is of course angry. Let's see. Aphrodite warns her that everything's ever as it seems, which makes sense. Hermes' labor is next. So Hermes' labor is up in the clouds. They're sitting on these little planks that are wobbling on top of spiked little mountains. And the thing is that they have the three of them. Okay? The three who? The 3 Morai ladies, which are the Fates. Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos, which are like the 3 ties of strength where, one spins the thread, one uses her rod to measure the thread of life allotted to each mortal, and one that cuts the thread, which ends mortal's life. And they decide when people die, all that lovely stuff. So they have 3 questions they can ask them. And they have to find out which one tells the truth, which one tells a lie, and which one is random. So one random is one that says randomly yes or no. they'll lie or they will tell the truth. And the winner gets a pair of shoes that can fly them wherever. So, Dex, Rima, Samuel, Dex, Neve, Rima, and Dae Hyunnon all form a thing. So Lyra teams up with Zai, saying, I'll give you my answer. I have 2 left that I can use. Let's team up. You just save me when you win. Because she doesn't really care about winning. So he agrees. They figure it out. He rescues her. And then they go someplace to chat. Well, the place they go to chat is supposed to be a safe zone where no violence is allowed. But that gets interrupted because Dex and them come up there and go, we're going to end your miserable lives so that way you don't win. And they're like, oh crap, we can't do nothing. And then they're probably going to do violence because, people don't care sometimes. So she'll and go down. Your relic, your boots, the fly will kick in and you can grab me. And yeah, they jump off and he grabs her and they're falling, but he loses his grip because he's weak as ass bitch, and she falls into Hades River, which goes to the underworld. Now, before all that happens, they do have a discussion. Hades and Lyra has a discussion about what she wants to do. She wants to make an ally out of Zai. He doesn't trust nobody. He's trying to tell them not to do certain things, because people are going to backstab her and everything like that. And while they're having this conversation, she meets Cerberus, the 3-headed dog, who like her and speak to her because she called him awesome. Amazing. She's like, can I pay him? He's amazing. He's like traitor to them. So that's kind of cute. She gets sent to the underworld, but since the mark that Hades left on her, the mark that Hades left on her, allows her to survive. Rima didn't like her either. So, because of the mark, it allows her to survive, but it also allows Cerberus to find her whenever she gets there. And he's like, well, I brought you here to this area after finding you because Charon wants to talk to you. And Charon is not a god of death, he is the ferryman. And the ferryman's like, you need to be loyal, okay? He has 3 friends. You need to be loyal, okay? Just be loyal to him. And then there was another one where use them only if you have any other option. With the pearls, by the way. Because he's like, you will be punished if they even discover you have those. I mean, only if you have no other option. But the 3rd labor starts. And the 3rd labor is Dionysus' labor, which is the test of the heart. Now, they have these alcohol, vodka, that they have to sit there and carry to the end of a line. And he says you don't want to be there in the night because beware of it. The poison ivy that's in this little forest-like area comes to life at night, and it literally tries to kill. Mieke, I think her name is, Meike. She falls during it, and Lyra uses her pearl to take her to get help. Now, before all this started, Dex says we should just injure Lyra so she doesn't win this, and take her out of the picture so she can't get healed or anything like that. And so Lyra's like, look, don't hurt me. I'm not in this to win. I just want to live. Okay? As long as you don't hurt me, I'll tell you Aphrodite's labor. Because I know it. Well, I know the secret to it. I know a little bit about it. And they're like, oh, don't trust her. She's lying. And she's like, yeah, but this axe is mine. I've had it before. It came to me when I was a thief. This vest was mine. It was just given to me before I entered the crucibles. So, I'm allowed to use them. So, yeah, they don't believe her. Anyways, Zai carries around EpiPens because of his allergic reaction, and he saves it on Lyra because Lyra gets tangled up into the vines as they come alive, and they find out that they come alive at night. And, yeah, they use all of their vodka to save Mika, but it doesn't help. So he's like, I have to go, you know? Who joins up with Zai and Lyra is Trincia and Amir. Though Amir is like healing the slow way because he did not win the previous labor and he did fall off. Good thing he will say he was survived, but you know, that's everything. Lyra does save Dex's team, which means that Dex's team saves her team, and she saves, Mika. She goes to Zai's home in Hades, Zai's room in Hades Olympus house, and gets the EpiPen and saves Mika's life. Hades appears and says, we don't have time. They're coming for you. And he takes her punishment because they were going to kill her. Which is where they cut his hand with some daggers, and he's unable to heal for a day or two. Which is really fucking stupid in my opinion. Apollo's labor is the next one that's happening. There's a lot more stuff in between, which you're gonna have to read if you want to know more of the stuff that happens in between and how it all goes, because I told it in a disjointed way, but that's just me. I'll see you guys in the next clip. Okay? Update for the games gods play. We left off on Apollo's lovely labor, okay? And since Apollo and Artemis are twins, they always do everything together. They never do nothing apart ever since they were whatever came into being. So Apollo's brave fart. Okay, so Apollo's first one is you go into a room and you have 2 minutes inside this room to figure out how to get the door open, okay? And it goes on until I think an hour or something until you figure it out. So yeah, they discuss things on how to figure it out. Zai, Mika, and of course Lyra are together in an alliance. So they have a lot of discussions. By the 4th time she goes in, Lyra goes in, she's concentrating and humming, and the door opens and she gets her little flags. Now these flags are for the second one, which is Artemis's. So Artemis's is an obstacle course, and there's 4 of them, and you have to make it through all 4 of them without losing a flag. 1 flag is for courage, 1 flag is for your heart, 1 flag is for virtue, and 1 flag is for strength. And if you lose them, things happen to you. There's confusion, fear, pain, And I think there's one more. Exhaustion. So, yeah, you have to fight through all of those. So, Lyra wins the fourth one, okay? The fourth labor, she wins it, which is Apollo's labor. Of course, she loses the next one. But because she was the first one to figure it out, but came back and told everybody else how to get past the first labor, Apollo's labor, she had to go last again. And Diego decides to stay back and wait for her because he was taught that manners, not shit. So he's like, you can go first ahead of me because technically you were the first one to figure everything out, so you should be the one who goes first, you know? And she's like, okay. So they go. And she uses fear again for her throughout most of it because that's the first one that gets tripped off. And then she gets confusion. And then she gets pain. And so she only has the heart flag left. And she's helping out Diego, and Diego's helping her out. They make it to the end. Actually, Diego gets separated, and they fight a mirror. A mirror's in it. He's kind of in confusion and pain, and then Neva was in for pain and confusion and fear. And she was talking about somebody hurting her sister. When she gets to the end, she and Neva are there together, and they both try to run. Neva, of course, leaves her behind, and she's racing against a dragon attacking her. Okay, a dragon. Of course, she's being attacked by Lima Kids and Nymphs Meadows. And as she's running towards the finish line, where her champion, her goddess is supposed to be, of course, he was being punished and he wasn't there, so she didn't know who she was supposed to be going for. She sees Charon, but Charon wavers out and disappears, and Hades appears. So she actually runs into Hades' arms, but she is actually injured. Okay? She's severely injured because of it. Dragon burn on her arm. So it takes 3 to 4 days with Asclepius to heal her arm. And she doesn't get much more than like 4 days of it because Zeus. She won the Tears of Eos from Apollo. Artemis got bows and arrows. I'm pretty sure that's what hers was. So she's healed. Aphrodite comes along, interrupts them. They're getting closer together. Like Hades and Lyra are like smooching on each other. Oh, and while she's healing, her supposed parents come on and they're talking about how they love her and miss her, and that Lyra went willingly to the Order of the Thieves to pay off their debt. They couldn't say how it happened. They were using the name Lyra and how they loved her. And Lyra's like, I don't have a family. I don't have it. Yeah. And she actually gets Hades to open up about Persephone. He's like, I love Persephone, but like a sister, like a daughter even. So they weren't dating, they weren't married, he just loved her. And he's like, would you take advantage of me, Lyra? Because everybody else would if he showed off his tender, kind-hearted, loving self. And she's like, not if I could help it. And he's like, damn, I wish you hadn't have said that. So Aphrodite's labor pops up, and it's about your loved one. So in this one, the 6th layer, you have to sit there and find your special someone you love, and wake them up from a dream and bring them back to Olympus. Now, because Day fucked with Artemis's champion, Artemis's gift that was given to him fucks with Day, to the point where Day can't go and get the person he loves the most in the world, which is his grandmother. And of course, Aphrodite didn't know this was going to happen or any shape or way, and it said that if you don't go rescue the person and they don't wake up in the morning, they die. So yeah, his grandmother dies because of it. She feels bad about it, but she's the one who set the harsh punishment for what would happen if you failed. She didn't have to, but she did it anyways. She's a god. They don't understand mortals the way mortals do. So He goes into the 7th labor with nobody because he says once in the 6th labor, you get your chosen loved one with you, then they participate in the in the next labor. Lyra, of course, goes to Boone and says, like, I had a crush on you. And she's like, oh my god, I don't think, well, first she says, I love you, and then she's like, I have a crush on you. You know, the person always showing me a look of kindness. It's pathetic. I'm aware. You don't have to feel guilty for me. Just know that I'll always love you a little bit, making my time in the den the tiniest bit ever. So, she wakes Boone up, thinking she had killed Boone, but she didn't. So she takes Boone back with her to Olympus. Immediately, he sits there and steals from Dex the helm of something or another. Fucking right, what was it? Before he distills the helm, they introduce who their people are. One is her sister. Neva's sister comes into it, Nora. Zai brings his mother, unfortunately, into it. Not Day's boyfriend. Nora. Then Raphael, or Rafe, which is Dex's nephew, who he practically raised. Samuel's longtime partner, Jackie's older brother, Mackey's roommate, Trinicia's son, Diego's wife, and Rima's husband, and of course Boone. What is the helm called? It's a helm. Whatever fucking helmet it is that he has that allows him to do things. Boone stole it to help Lyra out. Lyra says, go take it back. And he's like, why? And then they're like, let's go sit there and see what the gods and goddesses are talking about because they're having a secret meeting. So they go to see what the secret meeting is about. And it's at Hephaestus home. And they're talking, we're not talking about the labor. They're talking about the Crucible and how there's 13 champions, one appointed by the king of the underworld who already rules Rome. And then there's also the fact that Lyra brings chaos into everything. These labors are designed to be brutal, to fill your mirth. The bloodshed, don't complain now. Definitely don't blame me or Lyra about what's going on. And I suggest you stop worrying about my shit and figure out your own. And then he looks right at Lyra, knowing she's there. And then he, like, boldly claims Lyra in front of Boone. Because of Boone. She's like, don't do that. Don't claim me in front of him unless you actually want me. Okay? And he's like, I will never force you into something you don't want. But make no mistake, Lyra, I want you to be mine. Not a champion, not a thief, not a mortal. Mine. And no one else's. So, Hades is like, this is what I want from you. Hephaestus' labor is you have to go from this forest area to the tower, and you have to go up the tower, and it's whoever makes the most time, and you can have your partner help you out or not help you out. Of course, Dex doesn't let Rafe help out, and some of them argue like, yo, look, we can't all die here, you know. Some of them are saying like our children need to with one parent and all that stuff. Amir doesn't want his mother to go. I mean, not his mother, but his nanny, which makes sense because he was raised by his nanny. When Lyra goes, she tries to convince Boone not to go, but doesn't. So they get through the first room, up to the second one, and Boone's like, well, no, up to the third one, because they play chess. But they're now on the second one, and they have to defeat a murder child in the second, a robot in the first one. So when they get up to the third level, Boone's looking out and going, why don't we just climb up the side? Never said anything about how we get there, just that we get there. And so they decide to climb up. And Boone pushes her, Boone gets speared through her and falls to his death. But she makes it up to the top. Okay. And that's where things go bad for her because she is not well. So before they know she's injured, she's trying not to cry because she's upset about Boone's death, and he's like, don't hold it in, and she's like, I have to, and she's like, can you make sure Boone is good? And he's like, well, I can save Boone. I can make Boone into a god. If I become the king of gods, I can make Boone a god. And she's like, oh, cool, then I have to win for Boone. And while she's dying because she can't be healed by the healer, she becomes delirious, and Boone shows up, and Boone's like, don't be a coward and open your eyes and find out. So Boone shows up because Lyra's calling out for her in her feverish state. They have a little heart-to-heart, and he's like, 80 years. I'll be counting down the days until you come join me in 80 years. Don't join me anytime sooner than that. So then she starts doing okay, but she's not doing better. She's still dying because the wound is necrosing and it's killing her. So Hades feeds her some of his own blood to kickstart her immune system. Well, not kickstart it, but to protect her while they pour the river of Styx on her, which only a few people have survived, and one of them being Achilles. And the only part being vulnerable would have been his heel, where his mother was holding him. But she starts to start getting better, but she can also at one point tell that she can feel Hades' feelings. Maybe it's because of the blood. But yeah, she starts healing. So they're like, Sharon's like, I've been dating if we should call you Sleeping Beauty or Snow White, because, the fairy tale stuff that's going on. And she was like, in her head, he was my peace, he was my strength, he was my heaven, and that's how she fought and came back from death's door. And he's like, good. And Sharon's like, I've never seen Hades so distraught before. He's like, I've never seen it. There's only had a certain amount of people that's ever seen him as a friend. And Sharon's like, you also don't think you have a future with him? Why? Because he's a god and you're immortal? He says like, you don't seem like someone that gets detailed in your ways. And he's like, he told me she was like a sister to him and how losing her devastated him. So that's where I'm at. 367 pages in. I still have 3 days of reading. So we're going to see what happens. But I'm actually rooting for Lyra and Hades to get together. Because, man, there is some tension there. And it's sexual and the whole thing. And they like each other. And he's never had a lover before. Which is like, what the fuck? You're Hades. You should have had a lover. You can imitate them to being with you. Hell, fuck. You could do what you want. You're a god. And this is the first time you decide to be with a woman, and all because she's not scared of you. She's terrified. I was terrified at the beginning when she found out who you were, but she never stopped lipping off at you in a way that you found hot. Very interesting. So, I'm hoping they get together. I'm hoping things go great with them, and I'm hoping that even though there is a second book, that things don't go well. And I will most likely be definitely keeping that pre-order for the second book, so that way when it comes, I'll get it. So, yes. Very good so far. And I'm looking forward to the ending of it. So, I will see you in the next clip. Okay, guys. So, I have finished this. The game's God's Play. It's because it's awkward. Okay? I just want to anyways, I finished it, and I didn't update you when I should have. I should have updated you a while ago, but I didn't. My bad. Okay, I've been reading at night before I go to bed, and then I say, I'm going to update the next day, and then I just get a little too, what's that word? Sleepy. When I come home from work, or lazy, or busy, or whatever it is, and then I forget. And so, before I forget tonight, because I've been sucked into the YouTube, and I should not be, because I have things to do. Anyways, I finished it. Okay? So this little tab right here is to tell me where we stopped, so I can explain shit to you as best in my memory, because I know what happens, but the chronological order of that shit is kind of out the window, okay? Usually is, but that's just me. I'm just a little dumb. Okay. So, she heals from her injury. Okay, from her last labor. I forgot what the fuck the last labor was. But anyways, oh no wait, it's through the stomach. She got speared through the stomach, that's what it was. So yeah, she healed. And, so, like, she asked where he was. Well, when she woke up and he's like, the same marsh. Talking about a sociopath that tortured and killed many people, and of course he can see the past and the present and the future, and could see the many different ways his life could have been, and what could have been, you know, and that just messed him up, I guess, because I'm like, what the fuck, you know, you could see that this person, if shit ended up happening the way it did, things could have been different, less lives ruined. So, while she was out for almost 2 effing weeks, 3 labors went by, the 8th, 9th, and the 10th labor, okay? So, the 8th labor, Demetres, she had them run through the fields of forgetting. If they succumbed and got lost, storms would chase them down. Neve was struck by lightning and died. The 9th labor was Hera's. As the goddess of stars, she put a new constellation in the sky. The champions had to figure out which one. The world remained dark until they did, and she unleashed Deimos and Phobos on the champions to make it harder. And, Rima and Zai figured it out together. Who won? Diego won the 8th one. Rima and Zai figured it out together, and it was Day's grandmother as a new consolation. Because Aphrodite felt bad, so Hera did that for Aphrodite, which was really sweet. The 10th labor, Ares, his labor was centered around protection of their community. So each one was given a baby chimera, and they had to get it back to the nest without being mauled by the baby, and without the mother destroying Larissa, Greece, where her babies were taken from. Samuel was severely injured in it, but he's not dead. Diego won. And he loaned Zeus the doctors that worked on her, which I fucking wish he hadn't have. The bastard of a bastard. Should not have done that. Terrible fucking piece of shit, Zeus. So now she has to take part in the 11th and 12th labor and basically hope she can somehow catch up. Because, you know, there's that. So she has an idea that she wants to tell her allies first and then tell everybody. And that idea is, let me win, and everybody who's died gets to, well, I think come back to life or something. Get taken care of in a way that's not normal until the day. They discuss it and they deny it because of Rima's vision. And Rima's vision is Hades burning down the world. So they all thought it was because she won. And so they didn't want that to happen. Which, of course, okay, got it. You don't want the world to burn. Understandable in a, you know, normal fucking way. So he promised me if I win, and he's made the king of gods, he will make all those who perish of the crystal be given a choice. They can either be given a home in Elysium, or if they choose, be brought back from the underworld like boom. This applies to Neve and Isabel, as well as Day's grandmother, anyone else who might die before this is all over. But of course, they don't want it, because obviously they're afraid that if she wins, he becomes king of gods, he burns down the world. Yeah. They also have a passionate night of sex between Hades and Lyra. Lyra and Hades have a passionate night of sex. And then he breaks her heart because he knows the last labor. He knows what's going to happen, and he thinks that he needs to do that to ensure she does not fall prey. Right? It's kind of dumb. I don't know how he knew it was what was in the last labor. They don't reveal that in this book at all. Okay, that's that. So, Athena's is next. This is 11th labor. Oh, and Athena gets pissed off by Lyra because Lyra calls her a monster. Literally, monster. Which, I mean, she acts like a mother. So yeah. So why mother monster? Why? It's because on the spikes are the heads of the champions they lost. Neve, Isabel, Day's grandmother, Boone. It's an illusion, but it's still fucking there, and that's monstrous of them to do. And Athena gets fucking pissed. Anyways, her labor is to get out of a maze, which is like a step-up thing, maze. You may not use any relic of any kind to skip running the maze, just survive it. If you can't find your way out in an hour, then you'll be left down there to suffocate or for the bugs to eat. The first champion wins. So, Lyra uses the little things that tattoo spirits, that Zeus, Hades gave her, and, to help get out of it. Of course, Day tries to help her, which is really nice. The petal Day took from Amir during Artemis' labor is a healing thing, I believe. Oh, Shadow of Adrenaline. So, with invincibility. Okay, so yeah. I forgot about that. But, pretty sure Dex was made to be confused and confounded. Pretty sure Mika won, but Dex kind of killed her for that. So Mika won the maze, but Dex killed her, but Dex was like not in his right fucking mind when it happened. And I'm pretty sure Zai kills Dex. And she calls Athena a monster again. What'd you do? Drug him, curse him to be more aggressive today? Well, he's dead now, and that is a fucking karma, you monster. You won't be queen of the gods now, will you? Because our champion's dead. So she can't become queen of the gods because her champion's dead. And she gets pissed off. And Lyra goes to jail. It's a compromise. Athena wanted her head. Her dead. Or in Tartarus. So, she gets put into jail. Which is kind of sad. Oh, Charon also tells her that Persephone's not dead. She's just stuck in Tartarus. How the fuck she got stuck in Tartarus is another question that hopefully will be answered in the next book, which I wish would have been pulled for my December reads, but I pulled that before I read this book because I was a little overexcited to continue my TBR pulling. So don't blame me, okay? Don't blame me, okay? Just don't. I'm going to put this in, so hopefully the next time, which is not until what? January, February, March, April? Oh God, I gotta wait until April to see if I can. Well, hopefully I'll pull it before then, like maybe January. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that I pull it in January. Because that's what I fucking want. I want to pull it in January because I'm getting it in October. I've got it pre-ordered. So it's coming for me towards the end of October. But I so want it now. Okay? Like, I want it now. Hades is also pissed at her for, they think Trincia won, but Hades is mad at her because of calling Athena a monster. So, yeah. Athena requested death with the judgment of Tartarus as her punishment. The compromise is jail until the final labor. So she's just in freaking jail until the final labor, which is Zeus's labor, because, of course, where he cheats, like mega cheats. Oh, also, she while she was in jail, she asked Zai, who came to visit her, to send Dimitri to her because she had something to tell Dimitri. But Aphrodite comes instead, and learns that Persephone's not dead. She's in Tartarus, and Aphrodite thinks it was kinder to tell her that because she figured there would be another war going on if she knew. And then Aphrodite does the fuck up thing and tells fucking Zeus, fuck you, you should not have told fucking Zeus anything. Don't fucking tell Zeus shit. He is evil. At least in this book, he seems evil. And Diego did have a chance of winning the last labor. So then she has to pretend like she's been mental orgasms. So that's like a weird thing there. Okay. So, his crucible, the last of the labors of most of will, this will be no exception. The gods and demons will not be here to step in, and should you falter. This is Death Valley in the Western United States. Okay, so you won't be able to hide here, but running. So they have to run through the Mojave Desert's Death Valley. But while they're running, they have to get through a series of gates. 3 of them, to be precise. And the first person to pass through the final gate of the first wins this labor. And they, of course, have a challenge for it. Because before the first gate is a Minotaur. Okay? So, there's that. And Zeus is a fucking cheater, okay? So he stole Hades' other axe. Because Hades has 2 axes. One of them appeared to Lyra as her relic when she passed her Hermes thing. Because everyone gets a relic and they all think it's from Hermes. She got hers somehow, not from Hermes, but it was Hades. Hades thought he lost it. And then when he woke up, when Samuel woke up, he found an axe in his room. Okay, Hades' second axe. Zeus stole it and gave it to Samuel. You fucking asshole. How fucking dare you, Zeus? You cheating ass. In this book. Okay, so she buries her bones, teeth, or dragon teeth, to have her dragon soldiers come up. And there's like 4 of them left, I think. And they're all fighting. They all make it through the first gate. And then the second one is like a kraken. So, but they make it through the second gate. Okay. And then the last one is sirens. Now, sirens. Because the last hint she got, Trisha used the stone of Mixkit, a record. She just asked it how to pass through this last gate safely. Don't listen. It's because of sirens, and sirens sing. And apparently sirens want to have them there where they live, but they can't because they'd all die eventually. So, Zai, Day, and Rima, I believe it is, get pulled in to it. Okay. And Trincia. So all of them get pulled into it. So Jackie, Samuel, and of course Lyra are left behind. But then Jackie is taken away. But not because she listened. Diego is also taken. So Trincia, Diego, and Jackie are taken, but they were the ones that didn't listen. So that left Samuel, who is bewitched to resist, and Lyra. But eventually they all disappear on her and she's left alone. So she takes one of the pearls that's given to her by Hades and she swallows it and goes to the Sirens area. So there is that. So she saves them, yay, and they do make it through the last gate. But everything disappears when she goes through the gate. And there is Cerberus. Okay, so when they go through the gate, Cerberus is there. And Cerberus attacks. But Cerberus doesn't want to do it because he's been bewitched. And I think the skeleton soldier plunges some a spear into Cerberus' back, which knocks him out of whatever order he had, and she was like, oh no, that's terrible. And he was like, I did not hurt you. One of the heads said it. Oh, Sir, because she named him Cerberus. Sir was one head, Burr was another, and Russ was one. Burr and Russ were limp on the ground, unconscious, and Sir wasn't. He said, I did not hurt you. You did not hurt me, she said. I could see what I was doing, but I could not stop myself. And then Zeus shows up. And Zeus is like, I'll be damned. You are the baby I cursed in my temple, the unlovable one. Now he figures it out. And since he says, no, I can't let you win, he attacks her. Pretty sure he bolts of lightning her. And, so what she does, she takes her last remaining pearl, and she sits there and says, think of the sticks, shoving it into his mouth, and then poof, he's gone. And she's just there, dying. Okay, she's dying. And this is about the time she realizes she's fucking in love with Hades. But Hades shows up, and Hades is like, are you going to kill me, brother? You and I both know I could easily. I won't let you have the throne. Aphrodite told me about Persephone. You're going to use the box to try to free her, go around the 7 wars. That's why you need the throne. You can't. You'll unleash the typing in the world again. Maybe I'll unleash them on you. You cheat. They'll never give you the throne. And then Hades butts in with this. The one who cheats, who has always cheated, is you. In this crucible alone, you've done so much. Arranged extra sea dragons for Poseidon's labor. Killed Neve with strategically aimed lightning. Glimmered Dex into a murderous rage. Added new rules to your own labor. Gave a single glimmer against the Sirens as well as my axe. Buddy. Zeus cheated all the fucking way through. Like, all the fucking way through. Like, bitch slap his ass. Why did you not just bitch slap Zeus and kill him? God? Not in this world. They don't need Zeus. All gods exist. They don't need Zeus. Fuck him. So, when he, the Daemons, they come for Zeus. And he's like, no, he needs you too. He knew about the Sirens. He shouldn't be allowed to play at all. He'll be the death of us all. Well, yeah. You the ass, though. So, Lyra's like, visit me in Asylum, Elysium. And he's like, panicked and everything. And then everything fades. But then everything comes back. Warmth, glorious warmth. And she's alive. He didn't think it would work, but it worked. It worked. What worked? He gave her his crown, turning her into a goddess. So now she is the queen of the underworld. And he is just a god. He has no title now. But, of course, she doesn't have a title either. I mean, she doesn't have what she's god of. If you mean I didn't give you my crown, it's too late to take it back. Do you know what I see in Elysium? He says. The two of us there, and you as my queen. I've seen it for a long, long time. I just thought it was only something I'd get in the afterlife someday. But now that I've had you there with me, I won't wait that long. Being king of the underworld without you at my side is an eternity of my own personal hell. So they don't know what she's the god of. He thinks it's probably curiosity and trouble, because it takes time to manifest. But somebody who was an insider told him all about certain things. So he gets crowned as king of the gods because Lyra is declared the winner, the only survivable virtue in the crucible, champion of Hades, god of death. Of course, he sits there and says it's loyalty and not Lyra. And both of them say fuck me over that. So he makes Boone a god. You know what he does? He takes Hermes' godhood title and gives it to Boone. So now Boone is the god of thieves. Boone is the god of thieves, okay? So, first to Zai, he gives out a boon. And I swear on the River Styx, no harm will ever come to you again, so choose for yourself. Which means he knows that harm is coming to him from his family. He says, I want to just wait to consider mine. Every champion shall receive the same blessing as the winner of the crucible. Abundance for your families as well as your homelands. And one boon each. Both these here and those champions in the underworld. So he just gave the boon to everybody who died. And to all those who survived. As well as abundance for their families and their homelands. And of course, Poseidon says, you can't fucking do that. And Hades like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm king of the gods. Fuck off. And then he claims Pandora's box. So the only thing is that Pandora's box is the key to Tartarus. And it'll open up the door. And it's only a one-time opening, I guess. As far as I could see. And Persephone is supposed to be waiting there. Okay, she's supposed to be waiting there, alright? When the door opens, she's pulled inside instead of Persephone's coming out. And it's Kronos who did it. So, Rima's prophecy, Hades burning down the world, is because he'll stop at nothing to save her. So, she's trapped in Tartarus along with the Titans and Persephone's. Yeah. That's like the end. So, like, what the fuck do you mean I have to wait? I'm giving good vibes. So, my favorite character was actually Hades. Because he's a complicated character that you don't know a lot about. And you learn so much about him, about how kind and caring he is. And that he actually loves his job as king of the underworld. Because he gets to help people find their ever after. Especially those who deserved it. My most disliked character is Zeus. Because he's a cheating ass bitch that needs to be slapped down a few more times. Because I don't think Hades slapped him enough times. What else is memorable? Gods and goddesses exist in this world. In every country, everybody is free to worship whoever they want. And they all have their own cities and principles and things like that they can do. So it's not just the Greek ones. It's also all gods and goddesses. So, like the Egyptians and Odin and them, Norse. Yeah. My favorite passage from the story. I think it'd have to be towards the end, to be honest. Let me see if I can't find it. Oh, yeah, no, maybe. I think that one might be it. Because I don't think there was anything really... Yeah. I gotta say that this is my favorite passage. Very short. I'm in love with him. Persephone isn't dead. I'm about to be. And I'm in love with Hades. What a stupid, horrible, God's awful time to figure that shit out. Yeah, that'd have to be my favorite passage. It's a short passage, but it's there. let's see. Frickin' Zeus. That's not what that is. That's not that. I thought he told you everything. Actually, you know what? My favorite quote is actually from the back too, because you know I was thinking about it, and what I liked the best is the one about the Elysium. The two of us there, and you as my queen, I've seen it for a long, long time. I just thought it was only something I'd get in the afterlife someday. But now that I've had you there with me, I won't wait that long. Being king of the world without you at my side is an eternity of my own personal hell. That's my favorite quote. What I thought about the ending of the book. What a fucking cliffhanger. That's a cliffhanger. I don't know who doesn't think that's not a fucking cliffhanger, but that's a fucking cliffhanger if I've ever seen cliffhanger. And I've seen a lot of cliffhangers. That's a fucking cliffhanger. What the fuck, man? Woman. Sorry, Abigail. What the fuck, woman? What the fuck? What kind of cliffhanger is that? What book did it remind me of? To be honest, it did remind me of the James Lovegrove Age of the Pantheon series. I have 3 of them, which is the Age of Ra, the Age of Zeus, and Age of Zodian. Odin, not Zodian. So that's what it really reminded me of. It's like the Pantheons are the Pantheons, which are the gods, are real, and they're doing things. Like one of them, I think they were like robots or something, but it's there, like the theme. Pantheons, they're real, you know, in the real world with us. So I would say that's what it reminded me of. This book, as you know, is actually part of a series. If you didn't, it's called The Crucible. So far there's 2 books. I think it's 2 parts. I don't know if it's actually a duology or if it's going to be more than a duology. But let me tell you, the next book is actually coming out. And I believe the next book, hold on a second, let me just, where is it? Orders. The Things Gods Break is The Crucible 2, which is actually coming out October 21st. So I should get it sometime then. The gods want her dead. Hades will bury them. You think I'd have learned by now, don't mouth off to deities, don't fall for the king of the underworld, and definitely don't get dragged into a divine death match where I'm the cursed mortal prize. But here I am, trapped in Tartarus, humanity's worst pissed up, squaring off against monsters who make the gods look merciful titans, twisted by centuries of rage and ruin, are sealed behind 7 ancient locks, and guess what? I'm the key. To escape, I'll have to survive every horrifying trial they throw at me. To win, I might have to become something the gods never saw coming. Oh, and Hades, he's about to break every rule the gods ever wrote, because to save me, the god of death will burn the world. But if I break free, so do the titans, and the world won't just suffer. It'll beg for the end. The Crucible series is best enjoyed in order. There's only 2 books. As far as we know, there's only 2 books. But yes, that is what's going to come next, and I'm excited for it. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Wait. So yes, that's coming one day. Coming. I rated this a 4.5. Oh, because Zeus wasn't dead. Why did you kill the Zeus? Zeus needs to be dead. He's such a dick. He's such a bitch. He just needs to die in a melting fire of lava. Okay. Anyways. I hope you've enjoyed this. That's the end of this one. Okay? So, if you think I deserve a like, comment, or a lovely subscription, why don't you go ahead and drop it down below. I will see you next illusion.